a small fire with a nice rug.
Right.
Something. What was it called? Smoke signal. Smoke signal. Woo!
Good evening, everyone in the audience and tuning in online. I would love to wish and extend a warm welcome to everyone present tonight. We really appreciate you being here with us tonight. The board, the superintendent, and I were pleased to have you join us as we celebrate achievement. Student achievement, that's our focus. We're going to review information tonight. We're going to make decisions related to the effective operation of the Polk County School Board. And I would like to now call this March 26th, 2024 regular school board meeting to order. Now, if we could all stand, I would like to ask Ms. Cunningham to please give our invitation and please remain standing for the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. And we appreciate your continued grace and mercy that you give to us each and every day. We ask you to bless this meeting and give us the wisdom and discernment to do your will. Lord, please keep our students, families, and staff safe as we approach this fabulous Easter holiday weekend. We ask this in your Son's most holy name. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Cunningham, thank you so much. At this time, I would love to invite Aurora. If you can come up and lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Everyone may be seated except for you. Yes, you are the star of the show tonight. We are so thankful that you're here. Thank you for leading us as well. Great job. So if you could, just introduce yourself first of all, and then maybe anybody that's with you and joining you tonight.
My name is Aurora.
Wow, beautiful name, by the way, as well. So we've heard a little bit about you, but I think the audience would love to hear a little bit about you as well. So if you can tell us something about you, maybe some hobbies that you enjoy. I mean, I can ask because I hear that you love gymnastics. Is that true?
Well, there's two things that I like.
Oh, wow. What are they?
So it's like gymnastics and art.
Oh, now we've got a lot of questions to ask about art. Oh my goodness. Can you tell us more about that?
So I'm
Is there anything that you like to draw in particular or paint?
Yes, I like to draw a lot of things, but I think the most thing that I really love that I drew before was a white tiger.
Whoa, impressive. And then I hear you have a goal, like you want to be something. What is that?
An art teacher.
Wow, all right, yes. Superintendent Hyde, if he can bring a contract your way by the end of tonight, would be awesome. Now, what grade are you in?
Second.
You're in second grade. Do you want to tell us something about your school?
Sure. So
Well, first of all, what school do you attend? Does it start with a B?
Yeah.
If I remember reading that right, yeah? I'll let you tell us.
It's Boswell.
Boswell Elementary. That's awesome. Amazing. Now, I hear there's a long tradition of educators in your family. Yes? So if I remember reading this, six generations? What was that? I mean, that's a long history. So there's something about your great-grandmother. I don't know if you know this person. I would assume you know this person. Ginger Gossett taught in Polk as an elementary teacher for 40 years. Wow. Impressive. So if you can paint something tonight or draw something tonight, what would it be?
So what would it be? I would love to draw my family.
Oh my goodness, that's the best answer. That is awesome. So if you can introduce us to your family, is that possible? Yeah? All right. Is this your family here with you tonight? If y'all can stand, that'd be awesome. We would love to recognize you. Awesome. And most important, or we're just going to say, Aurora, that we really appreciate you being here tonight, and we hope that you have a great rest of the year. So if we can give her a round of applause, that'd be great. And thank you so much. You can be seated. Thanks for being here with us. Wow. Great job. All right, board members, as we transition now to our agenda, the first item on our agenda tonight is to accept our agenda. Superintendent Hyde, are there any revisions to our agenda as printed?
Mr. Chair, yes, board members, there are several revisions or additions. Item B1, new administrators, an item was added. Item K number 1, non-instructional personnel actions, item was added. Item K number 2, administrative and instructional personnel actions, item was added. Item K3, temporary duty assignments, an item was added. And item P number 3, 3DE expansion, that item was added as well. That concludes any revisions.
Great, thank you, Superintendent. So at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the agenda for March 26th, 2024 with the noted revisions. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Ms. Cunningham made the motion, Ms. Wyatt seconded that. Any discussion, board members? All right, seeing none, I will then ask for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? And that motion carries. Next item up is new administrators. Superintendent Hyde, would you lead us through our next item?
Absolutely. Mr. Chair, members of the board, members of the community, and staff, thank you for being here this evening. The first administrator I'd like to introduce to you is Carolyn Giroux, Acting Director for Recruitment and Engagement, is being promoted to Director of Recruitment and Engagement.
Good evening. I know I did bring my whole fan band with me.
Awesome.
I have a huge support system. I will get into that in a second, but thank you for this opportunity, Board and Superintendent Hyde. I first wanted to say 12 years ago, I started as a college aide. I was in the professional development department, and over the past years, I had people who believed in me and saw something in me and gave me that opportunity to excel my leadership skills and learn and create relationships here in the district. As you can see, lots of relationships here. But I first want to thank my family, my husband, Jared, and my little girl, Brooke. If it wouldn't be for them, I thank you for being at restaurants as I'm trying to recruit people all the time. He probably knows my elevator spiel, but I just want to thank my friends and family too as well. They've been with me through the whole process. I really would not be here without them. And I want to thank the administrators, the district staff here who believed in me. I could see a lot of administrators who I'm so passionate about working here at the school board. I'm passionate about our students, and I want to bleed that into our applicants for teachers and our non-instructional staff now. So I just wanted to thank you for that opportunity, and all the glory goes to God. Thank you. Okay.
And now we need group photos.
Yeah.
Can I just get us three real quick first? Yeah, sure.
Love it. Caroline.
Buzzing on me. Next, we have Maggie Reynolds, Acting Director for ESC Compliance, being promoted to Director for ESC Compliance.
Hello, I would like to thank you, Mr. Hyde, and the board members for this opportunity. I am a product of Polk County Schools, and I strive to be an example for both students and fellow educators to always follow their dreams. When I started my career as a sign language interpreter in 1994, I would never have dreamed I would end up here. A special thank you to Ms. Ekman and Ms. Williams for believing in me and entrusting me with this position and allowing me to join their team. I would not be here today if it weren't for the support and encouragement I have received along the way. To those who encouraged me to continue pushing forward, Dr. Henry, Tracy Collins, Ann Everett, Donna Swindle, and Leslie Allure, I would like to thank you for being such great mentors. To the school team that worked so hard beside me and followed my vision no matter how hard it seemed to accomplish, I will never forget you. Finally, to my family, I couldn't have done any of this without the love and support of my father, husband, children, and my beautiful granddaughter. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Lauren Jukakis, Assistant Principal at Loftman Oaks Elementary School, being promoted to Acting Principal at Floral Avenue Elementary.
Readjust. Thank you. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the board, Superintendent Hyde and Ms. Nave, for giving me the opportunity to serve the families and students at Floral Avenue. I also, of course, want to thank my family for their continued support, and one of my mentors who really played an instrumental role in preparing me for the principalship, Wanda Aponte. Thank you.
You. Congratulations again. Next, we have Dimesha Williams, Assistant Principal at Citrus Ridge Civics Academy, being promoted to Acting Principal at Lena Vista Elementary.
I was told we can only say 3 sentences. Is that true? Okay. I'm like, okay. So I've known I wanted to be an educator since 7th grade. I'm a proud POP, what we natives call a product of Polk County. I've been extremely fortunate and blessed to have been served by who I truly believe to be the best educators in the nation. I started as a Brigham Bear. I transitioned to Jewett Academy, and I walked the field at Auburndale High School, graduating 6th out of a class of 336 graduating seniors. Had I not skipped school and had a little boyfriend like my dad told me I shouldn't have done, I probably could have been the salutatorian. I'm thankful to my parents who raised me well and cared so much about my education that they made sure to put me in the best schools they possibly could. The magnet schools our district offered in our local high school. They knew that a good education was the key to opportunity and upward mobility. I'm thankful to my children who didn't have time to be here for me tonight. But they've endured my long days, nights, weekends, and holidays trying to creatively problem solve. I know that they sacrificed a lot to allow me to pursue my passion, and I'm grateful to them. I'm thankful to my guidance counselor, my high school guidance counselor. Had I not met him, I would have graduated high school with a 4.1 GPA and tried to be the general manager at Auburndale's KFC because I didn't know a 4.1 GPA was great. So he allowed me to do community service with his baseball team, and I was able to earn a merit scholarship to attend the University of Florida. Yes, go Gators. I'm thankful to have been under the leadership of some of the best principals the world has to offer, including Mr. Ernest Joe, Mr. John Hill, Mrs. Sherry Wells, Mr. Matt Blankenship. I haven't been under him, but we came up together, and he is awesome. And most of all, Dr. Nikesha Leatherwood, who really gave me a chance to enter leadership. She took a chance on my crazy. I'm thankful to those who were just curious enough to give me a shot, Mr. Green. I know I'm awkward at first, but I'll grow into it and I'll make you proud. Now, I know that every child won't have the opportunity I've had to be able to attend magnet schools or get into the charter schools and certainly not be able to afford the pricey private schools. However, my dream is that I can make every public school I serve just like the best magnet schools, the most popular charter schools, and the most prestigious private schools. I truly want every student with whom I and my staff interact to feel that they hail from the best. That is my goal in my work and my daily interactions. And I would like to thank all of the people in my circle who have given their best to me so that I can proceed to give my personal best to others. Thank you.
Those are 3 long run-on sentences.
Yeah.
Next, we have Tanisha Simpson, Assistant Principal at George Jenkins Senior High School, promoted to Head of Program at Davenport High School. Not with us this evening. Next, we have Summer Fisher, teacher at Crystal Lake Elementary School, promoted to Acting Assistant Principal at Lawton Childs Middle School.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be at Lawton Childs Middle Academy, and I want to thank the board, Superintendent Hyde, my regional Miss Kendrick, and my family for all of their support as I begin this journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Brent George, Administrative Assistant Principal at Lake Gibson Senior, being promoted to Acting Assistant Principal at Lake Gibson Senior. Not here. Next is Derek Keating, as Administrative Assistant at Bartow Senior High School, being promoted to Acting Assistant Principal at Bartow Senior.
Hello all, and thank you. Thank you to the board. Thank you, Mr. Hyde, for this opportunity. It was an investment from the Polk County Schools, the reason I'm here today, the investment that you paid for my degree at USF through one of the cohorts. So through that training and everything else, and through the mentors I had with my wonderful administration, co-workers, I'm standing here right now for y'all. So again, I want to thank my family. I want to thank everyone that showed up here for me, my wonderful admin, my fellow colleagues. Again, without them, I wouldn't be here at this place, and hopefully to give you a great return on your investment that you put into me.
Great job, sir. Oh, wow. Wow. T-shirts. That's too much. That's hilarious. That's great. That says a lot. Next, we have Mr. Joshua Ortiz, Administrative Assistant at Citrus Ridge, a Civics Academy, being promoted to Assistant Principal at Citrus Ridge.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I know you have been listening to all these great administrators that are coming to lead the county. Gracias a todos los presentes, ¿verdad? Sé que mi papá y mi mamá me están viendo desde Puerto Rico. I wanted to have an opportunity to say thank you for all your support. For my parents that are watching from Puerto Rico. I'm really nervous. But I do thank you once again. My principal, I'm really grateful to you. You will never know how much, but it's always hard for that first opportunity. And she believed in me, and I will do my best for our school, for the kids, but at the same time for my family and for the whole county. And thank you so much for having me here. And gracias.
¿Tienes familia?
Yes.
Aquí.
Sí, señor.
Come on down. We're going to take a photo. Oh, she's adorable. She's adorable.
Thank you. Oh, they're beautiful.
Great job.
Sorry, it's me, Vicky.
Great job, Ms. Leatherwood. Next, we have Joseph Santiago, Acting Assistant Principal at Boone Middle School, being promoted to Assistant Principal at Boone Middle. Okay. Next, we have Bruce Victor, Acting Assistant Principal at George Jenkins Senior High, being promoted to Assistant Principal at George Jenkins Senior High School.
First and foremost, without God, I am nothing. Let me say that first. To my late father and my mom, I thank them to the school board members and Mr. Superintendent, I thank you. To Mr. Patton and my administration at George Jenkins, thanks for taking me in as family. To my former administrators, Mr. Lay Kendrick, I know you're here. You gave me my first John Maxwell book. I appreciate you on leadership. Miss Susie Nelson, I see you. Mr. Victor Duncan, Mr. Brad Tarver, Miss Angie Clark, I thank you. And to my students, I really thank you. So thank you for the opportunity.
Great job, sir.
Yeah, we get some.
Hang on, you got Mr. Patton coming down.
Yep. Nice. All right. Good to see y'all.
There we go. That's better. All right.
Mr. Chair, that concludes administrative appointments for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent, allowing us to meet these amazing, great educators that are serving our students. So we're going to now transition down to special recognitions. So Superintendent, if you can actually help us work through this.
Yes, sir. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Kay Fields to step down to assist us with this evening's special recognitions. I'm sorry, Ms. Fields, if I caught you off guard. I'd also like to invite Ms. Jeanette Crowley, Director of Strategic Planning and Partnerships, to come forward in order to recognize our Focused on Excellence winners.
Chair, Vice Chair, School Board, Superintendent Hyde, I'm excited to introduce you to some amazing teachers tonight. As we continue to highlight the important contributions that all Polk County Public Schools make for students through the Focus on Excellence Employee Recognition Campaign. This campaign honors staff members from different employee groups who might get overlooked among the hustle of keeping up with the nation's 30th largest school district running efficiently. As you recall, each quarter, the program will recognize a select group of employees through the nomination and committee process. 10 employees are selected as winners and will receive prizes from our generous sponsors, as well as attend a special appreciation luncheon and be honored at a school board meeting. They will also be highlighted on the district's social media channels, website, and internal and external newsletters. As we go into our 4th year of the program, we've seen it grow tremendously, and we continue to make positive additions to enhance the program. For example, we've increased the number of winners selected from 5 to 10 employees per quarter, giving us a total of 40 total employees recognized throughout the year. We began hosting our appreciation luncheons at the club at Eaglebrook. We've added additional program sponsors. We offer exclusive Polk County Public Schools logoed gift items. But I think the most important benefit of the program is bringing encouragement and appreciation to our employees and who impact the lives every single day of our students and our school district. I'd like to read a testimonial from one of our past winners, Denisha Roberson, who's a bus driver and Area 1 Manager Assistant in Transportation Operations. She said, "This program really is a shining star for us. Everyone knows that she's a bus driver, but they don't know the things that she does behind the scenes." Of course, this wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors. So I just want to give a brief mention to each of them. International Diamond Center, IDX, formerly Image Depot Express, Mid-Florida Credit Union, Public Supermarkets, Inc., Sign Gypsies of Lakeland, Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa, Chick-fil-A, 80 Morgan, Compass Mortgage, CPS Investment Advisors, Dixie Southern Industrial, Inc., Lakeland Leads, and the Club at Eaglebrook. I appreciate each of these business partners who constantly support the work of our school district and have graciously come alongside us to make this campaign successful. And due to a lot of their financial support, we are able to give every PCPS employee who's nominated throughout the year through this program a special gift as well. Before I announce our winners, I'd like to mention a few gifts that they're getting tonight, and then they'll get the rest at the appreciation luncheon. But tonight, what they're going to take home with them is their Focus on Excellence certificate, a gift certificate from IDX, a gift certificate from Image Depot, International Diamond Center, signed gypsies, and their very own collector's edition Superintendent Hyde bobblehead. We still have some. If y'all want some too, we still have more for sale, so I can get you the info. So winners, there's one right up here too. He has it right here, okay. And he'll sign the box too. Okay, so winners, when I call your name, please come forward with your supervisor. Kimberly Crandall. Kimberly? So as they're taking a picture, I wanted to share that Kimberly said she loves working with children and watching them learn. The positive energy created in the classroom when they understand the material and their individual successes drives her to keep going. So congratulations, and Kimberly is a teacher at Bartow Middle. Caitlin Kraft, she's an English language art teacher at Mulberry Senior. And what Caitlin loves is she loves about her job is working with people, working with those that serve and make an impact on students, and the opportunities she's been able to see as a teacher and a leader. So we want to say congratulations to Caitlin. If we have any friends or family that are here with our honorees, please come forward. Carmen Gobble. She's a teacher at Fort Meade Middle Senior. What Carmen loves most about her job at Polk County Public Schools is the opportunity to make a tangible difference in the lives of students and the community. Working here allows her to contribute to the growth and development of young minds, helping them unlock their potential and achieving their goal. The supportive and collaborative environment fostered by Polk County Public Schools enables her to work alongside dedicated educators who share a passion for education and a commitment to student success. Additionally, the emphasis on continuous improvement and professional development ensures that she's constantly learning and evolving as an educator, which is both rewarding and fulfilling. Overall, being part of Polk County Public Schools allows her to have a meaningful impact and be part of something larger than herself. Thank you. Our next winner could not be with us tonight because they have student-led conferences at their school, and she wanted to be there with her students. So I just wanted to share our next winner is Jenny Siren, who's a 4th grade math and science teacher at Davenport School of the Arts. I want to say congratulations to Jenny. Virginia Stiefel. Virginia Stiefel. Virginia is a kindergarten teacher at Chain of Lakes Elementary. What she loves most about being a kindergarten teacher is the daily dose of laughter and wonder from her little learners. Their endless energy Infectious giggles and curious minds keep every day exciting and full of surprises. Teaching in Polk County has been an amazing experience. Being a part of such a supportive and collaborative environment allows her to continually grow as an educator and make a meaningful impact in the lives of her students. Thank you. Our next winner is Julia Hedman. Julia is an ESE field teacher in the hospital homebound program. Julia said she feels so fortunate to work with a very special population of students that we have in the hospital homebound program. Our students face unimaginable obstacles, pain, and hardships, while at the same time they work so hard to keep up academically with their peers. Some of our students are only with us for a few months as they recover from a surgery or broken bone. Many of our students are with us for months or even years as they may go through dialysis and chemotherapy treatments or organ transplants. She said many of the students cannot participate in club sports. They often have difficulty maintaining their friend groups from school. And quite often, the hospital homebound teachers are the only people with whom they interact outside of medical professionals and their immediate families. They are trusted into the homes and become part of the family. She knows their grandparents, siblings, and yes, many, many Polk County dogs. She said the best part of this recognition for her is that everyone gets to know about our kids, the nearly 300 of them who right at this moment are in their homes or in a hospital fighting their battles. And for you to know about 20 of us teachers who work in this program, it takes all of us and we do it together. Thank you and congratulations. Next, we have Brianna Turner, who is a teacher at James E. Stevens Academy. What Brianna loves most about her job are the kids and colleagues she has at Stevens Academy. Every staff member at Stevens Academy works with intentionality and compassion so that we can teach the whole child. We learn from each other, we laugh a lot, and we strive for excellence within ourselves and our students. It fills her heart to see her kids each morning, both current and past. They are hilarious, brilliant, adorable, creative, impressive, and hardworking. She loves getting to know her students and their families, and especially loves when she gets to teach siblings each year after year. She loves being able to create engaging, immersive lessons for them so they develop a deep understanding of the content, and they're excited about coming to school to see what's in store for that day. They deserve the best education, no matter what neighborhood they live in. It's an honor to get to be one of their trusted adults, and she wouldn't trade it for the world. Congratulations. Sherry Scott, culinary arts teacher at George Jenkins Sr. Come on. There are so many ways Sherry could answer this question of what she loves about Polk County Public Schools.
My boy.
She says this fall she'll be celebrating her 10-year anniversary with Polk County Public Schools, and she has spent her entire time at George Jenkins. She said, I think that should be a hint to one of the biggest things she loves. Being at a career in school where you feel valued is huge. Her kids, we all wait for and hope for that aha moment, the times when you feel like all your hard work has finally paid off. Just a few weeks ago, she catered the biggest event with her high school students. It was for several hundred people and had lots of moving parts. To say the day went better than any expectation she could have had would be an understatement. She was wowed by her kids. Our day started at 3:30 a.m., and by noon, she was standing and watching in amazement as her kids did everything that she could ever ask of them, and even some things she didn't think of. She says it was truly one of her top 5 moments in her career. Congratulations. Thank you. Caitlin Patton, 5th grade teacher at Socrum Elementary. What Caitlin loves most working for Polk County Public Schools is that we're all a big family. She moved from another state to take a job here in the school district because she felt so welcomed by the staff and administration. And then it was just over in staff and administration. And she said it was over a Skype call that she knew. When she finally got here, she said it felt like home. Everyone she's met has been so supportive and friendly. And she also loves the aha moments when finally something clicks for a student. It has a great feeling. She has a great feeling knowing that she was a part of that accomplishment. So congratulations. Lauren Nettles is a first grade teacher at Highlands Grove Elementary. Lauren said that every day she comes to work inspired to cultivate lifelong learners. This stems from the welcoming and collaborative environment from her team and fellow staff members of Polk County Public Schools. We are encouraged to set the bar high to allow for both cognitive rigor and productive struggle in our students while challenging ourselves to create an engaging classroom culture. She loves that she can be the teacher her students need while having a career that is motivational and gratifying. Congratulations. I think one of the cool things about this program is that we get to learn so many neat things about our employees and our teachers and why they do what they do every single day. I just ask them, I just say, what do you love about working for Polk County Public Schools? What do you love about your job? And then they just do the rest and I just share their stories. So it's amazing that this program just continues to highlight all the great contributions that our employees give each and every day to our school system. So please be proud of yourselves and your families. Thank you for being here. Remember, for those listening online and everyone else, to please like, follow, and share all the positive things going on within Polk County Public Schools. Please visit our website at polkschoolsfl.com. So I look forward to being here next quarter to celebrate our next group of employees for the year, which will be our custodial, maintenance, warehouse, and professional technical. So if we could just get one last group picture with everyone and your certificates, that would be great. Thank you all for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
While they're assembling, would you do me a favor? You mentioned the young lady who couldn't be here from Davenport School of the Arts. Could you go ahead and say her name and tell about her like you did about everyone else while everyone's coming down to the podium? I would appreciate that.
I will. Okay. Jenny Siren, she's a fourth grade math and science teacher at Davenport School of the Arts. She said she is incredibly honored to have received this recognition because she works among some of the most fabulous educators in the county. What she loves most about her job this year is her colleagues in administration, who are her team members and treat her like family. Working at Davenport School of the Arts has opened an avenue in her teaching career that has taught her how to become a better leader, teacher, and all-around human being. She loves working with students, staff, and community members to build relationships that will impact our future world. She loves it when students come back and share with her their success stories from middle school, high school, and adulthood. You're welcome. Thank you.
That concludes employee recognition.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. Ms. Crowley, thank you for inviting us to really honor and recognize our teachers in a huge way. So thank you for that. All right, board members, we're going to now transition, and we're going to move down to our public comments for items on the agenda to be voted upon as adopted at the start of this meeting. And board members, we do not have any public comment on those agenda items. So we are going to now move down to the approval of minutes. So we have three sets, actually we have two sets of minutes. The first set of minutes is from the February 7th, 2024 school board meeting. The chair is going to entertain a motion to accept the February 27th school board meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Sharpless made the motion, Ms. Fields seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? And the motion carries. The second set of minutes is from the February 27th, 2024 work session meeting. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept those minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second? Second. Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, at this time I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? And the motion carries. We are now at the consent agenda, and the next item is the approval of that consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the March 26th, 2024 consent agenda as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right, Ms. Cunningham made the motion and Ms. Fields seconded. Any discussion on our consent agenda items, school board members? All right, very good. Seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Nay? No nays? All right, and that motion carries. Now we are down to our action agenda, letter P. And our first item on the agenda is the RCMA Mulberry Community Academy School of Hope Operator. This is the PBA modification as presented. This was during our February 27th work session to approve basically an address change. Do we have a motion and a second? Second. All right, Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion, fellow board members, on this item? Ms. Miller, you are recognized.
Thank you. I just want to say we're changing the address at this time, but the benefit of this school in the community is seen daily. These students are supported from weeks old all the way into 8th grade and followed with a support person as they go into one of our high schools. This school and the leadership has sent many of kids on to great post-secondary opportunities, and I appreciate the fact that this board supports this school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. All right. At this time, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? And that motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the Bartow High School naming of the field house in honor of Ken Riley. Do we have a motion and a second on this item?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Ms. Cunningham made the motion, and I heard Mr. Nolte second it. I do see that we have our principal in audience as well, so thank you for being in attendance with us, Mr. Lawson. Mr. Nolte, would you like to read the letter and so we can have it in our record?
Yes, sir. Dear Mr. Hyde, I have received a request from Lance Lawson, principal of Bartow High School, to name the field house in honor of Ken Riley, a native son of Bartow. Mr. Riley played high school football at Union Academy before the integration of schools. Mr. Riley was a quarterback at Union and later at Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University, which is now A&M. Ken Riley was selected by the Bengals in 1969 in the AFL-NFL draft. He was inducted into the Florida A&M Hall of Fame in 1982 and also in the NFL Hall of Fame in 2023. Ken Riley worked as a substitute teacher in Bartow High School during his NFL offseason. Ken was a humble man and never spoke about himself. If you agree, I will request that the item be placed on the upcoming agenda for your approval and the board's approval. And I never got to play golf with Ken, but I did play in some tournaments he was in. He was always a gentleman and just soft-spoken and a real person that these young people could look up to. A true leader, and I definitely recommend the renaming of the field house in Mr. Ken Riley's honor in the native son of Bartow. Thank you, sir.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. Nolte. Ms. Wyatt, you are recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. As I said at the work session when we went over this, Mr. Riley was a dean at Winter Haven when I was there, and he truly was a gentle giant. He was our dean of discipline, and man, he could give looks that everyone knew exactly what they should or should not be doing without him having to say a word. He was someone that students really respected and just didn't want to disappoint. So I'm thrilled to vote in support of this today, and thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you for those words, Ms. Wyatt. Ms. Fields, you're recognized.
So when this came to us for discussion a month or so ago, one of the things that I said is that it's unfortunate that we don't have a school to name in Mr. Riley's honor. Mr. Riley was an amazing man, and if you read the letter from Principal Lawson, you can really feel the impact that he had in the community. And I am very thankful that Mr. Riley was willing to give back to his community, and he had very little need to have recognition, but his work spoke for him. So he was a great servant, and I'm very honored to be able to vote in support of this. And maybe one of these days we might be able to even find a school to name after him. Who knows? But today we'll do the field house.
Very good. Ms. Fields, thank you so much. Now, board members, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you, board members. All right, moving down to P3, we have the half-cent Sales Tax Oversight Committee appointment. Do we have a motion and a second?
Second.
All right, very good. Mr. Nolte made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded it. I would, at this point, would like to read his bio into record. I'll stand by. Oh my goodness, really? All right, let's hold on this for a moment. Yeah, so if the family's out there, if y'all are here, it would be great to have a picture. And yeah, absolutely, we do have the principal here as well, and this podium is open and accessible if you want to share some thoughts while we're here. Good evening.
I'm Barbara Riley, the widow of late Ken Riley, and I wanted to say thank you very much for renaming the athletic field house after my husband. It is an honor that you thought, it would be fitting for him, and thank you very much. He's missed, and like she said, Winter Haven High School, he was there for about 9 years, and he enjoyed every moment of it. He couldn't wait until, 5 o'clock came and he was up and at 'em. He had to go to Winter Haven to see about his other students. But we do thank you all. And for the principal of Bartow High School, thank you very much for having a hand in this too. And of course, Neil Duncan, who worked with my husband. He had the EPAC community on the west side, and he worked on the east side, and he worked with my husband every year, to bring kids and the community together. So he did a lot for his community, but he didn't want any recognition. He said, I want everybody to be happy and benefit, so when they come along, they'll know that someone cared about him. He cared about his community, their community, no matter what. And when he was head coach, he just drowned that into his players. Family, God first, then family. Then you're here to get an education, not to play anywhere else. If that came along, that would be icing on your cake. But he stressed, get your education, so you can make something out of yourself and not just be a number, but go back to your hometown or wherever you be and be the best that you can be. And again, I'd like to thank the board for, recognizing my husband and naming the field house after him. Thank you. And my daughter, and my sister-in-law, they are here also.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. All right, board members, we are now back in P3 and that item, and as noted, I'm going to now read this letter into record in support of Ryan Rogers. So Ryan Rogers, a dedicated professional with over 21 years at Mid-Florida Credit Union, serves as the Senior VP 2 and Regional Manager. In this role, Mr. Rogers diligently oversees service, operations, and production across Lakeland branches and local call centers in Lakeland and Winter Haven. Established in 1954 as a teachers' credit union, Mid-Florida has grown exponentially, currently catering to Florida communities through a vast network of nearly 65 branches, supported by over 1,400 employees and boasting assets exceeding $7 billion. True to its credit union roots, Mid-Florida remains committed to offering unparalleled personal attention while rivaling local banking institutions with its wide range of products and services. Beyond his professional endeavors, Mr. Rogers demonstrates a solid devotion to enhancing community literacy. As a proud graduate of Florida Southern College, go Mocs, where he earned his degree in business administration, Ryan actively contributes to financial literacy education by consistently presenting at nearby schools. And he is deeply involved in our community. Mr. Rogers also serves as the co-president of Interact Alliance and exhibits leadership within First United Methodist Church, Lakeland. Outside of his notable career, Ryan cherishes moments spent with his wife, Samantha, who teaches leadership classes, and their wonderful 10-year-old daughter. So that is Mr. Ryan Rogers. You all know him very well, and I'm happy to move forward this appointment and present him to you. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this individual being recommended to the half-cent sales tax oversight committee? All right, I will now at this point call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you, board members. All right, next up on our agenda is P4, and this is our 3DE expansion. As noted in our work session today, this initiative is to systematically re-engineer high school education to expand economic opportunity for all students. Through financial support from community members, this program was planted at Tenoroc High, and those successes have demonstrated the need for expansion and creating a similar attractor program at Lake Region High. So do we have a motion and a second on this item?
So moved.
Second. All right, Ms. Wyatt grabbed it first, and Mr. Sharpless seconded. So at this point, do we have any discussion? And I do see a list. And Mr. Sharpless, you are recognized.
Yes, so I actually volunteered at Tenoroc High School prior to spring break, and I helped coach some of their students in their 3DE on their case study projects. I got to tell you, the data shows some amazing things for these students participating in this. Students are attending school more, they're achieving more, and it's just a great program, 3DE, and I fully support the addition at Lake Region High School. I think this school will benefit greatly since it is one of my former district schools before it got redistricted. Now Ms. Wyatt has it, but I think the school will benefit greatly from it, and yeah, I think it's going to help, especially with, like I said, attendance and achievement. So,
thank you, Mr. Sharpless. Ms. Wyatt, you're recognized.
Thank you. I am thrilled to vote for this tonight. I'm glad we were able to get it on this evening's agenda so they can go ahead and start the planning process to get it implemented at Lake Region as soon as possible. One of the things we discussed in the work session today is that Lake Region has desperately needed an attractor at that school. And this is, the data from Tenor Rock shows that it does everything that when we went and toured 3DE in Hillsborough County, 3 years ago maybe, all of the things that they told us it was doing as far as increasing attendance, increasing teacher satisfaction, increasing student satisfaction, that they truly could see, when so often our students say, why am I taking geometry? How is this relevant? How am I going to use this later in life? That's exactly what 3DE does, is make it relevant to, what you're using is something that you can use every day once you graduate high school. And really makes it relevant for our students. So I'm thrilled to be bringing this to Lake Region, and I'm excited that it sounds like it's a program that we'll be able to expand further in the future. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Wyatt. Ms. Miller, you're recognized.
I think Ms. Wyatt did a great job in explaining why this program is going to be very beneficial to Lake Region. I can tell you that for Tenor Rock, it's been very successful. These programs that give students real-world problems that they have to learn strategic skills to follow and solve are what we need more of. So I appreciate junior achievement and the committees that have helped bring this to Tenor Rock, and I look forward to expanding to Lake Region and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. All right, fellow board members, I would like to now call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you, board members. Now, we are now moving down to the letter R, which is the superintendent's report. And start the clock right now. No, Superintendent, you're up. Thanks.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, before I talk about the next meeting, it's important for me to reiterate some of the conversations we had this morning or this afternoon during the work session per the request of the board. An update on the new high school or proposed high school site. As the board has come to learn, as we have come to learn, the PEEP 3 proposal, which is currently allowed for under Florida statute, is an incredibly complex process. And so we have done a considerable amount of research in order to advertise, put out an RFP, a request for proposal. We had looked at other school districts who had attempted to do so, learned from their mistakes. We have engaged a law firm to assist us with that. Not only will they help us design the RFP that will go out in the next few weeks, they will also help us develop board policy. They have experience with that as well. So I'm excited that not only will we have an RFP that we can publish and put out, we will also have policy that will guide this in the future. So that's the update. The board can expect to see the RFP go out within the next 2 weeks, week and a half. The RFP will have to be published for 21 days. Again, as we've discussed previously, the RFP is not just about the school. It requires other things such as turfing of fields, proximity to the area that we're looking at. Those types of issues are all bulleted and listed within the RFP because those are requirements for the applicant. So I look forward to, in the next month and a half, being able to finally bring a recommendation before the board so we can make progress on a new high school site that's desperately needed. And I don't think anybody ignores the fact that we are the fastest growing county in the state that has been reported of late. So we must keep up with this need in our community. The next strategic planning retreat will be held Thursday, March 28th. The retreat will start at 9 a.m. The retreat will be held at the Polk State College Advanced Technology Center in room 1106 at 310 Technology Drive, Bartow, Florida 33830. And our next work session will be held on April 9th, 2024. The work session will begin at 9 a.m. The meeting will be held at the district office located at 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow. There was discussion earlier today about the possibility of moving the May meeting date from May 14th to the 7th. However, based on all the feedback and based off the conversation, based on other restrictions that we've identified, we will not be making that change. You've received an email to that effect as well. So we will maintain the current May 14th date, and our team will work around those dates. But in the future, we will look to alter that date to ensure that our team has adequate time to do setup and tear down. As you know, we try the best we can to ensure that all of our graduations and other events are covered and that we can provide video coverage of that, even through live feeds whenever possible. So the team does need some time in order to address that. So I thank the board. That concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. Next, we will move to our attorney's report. Mr. Bridges, you're recognized.
Items, first, request authority to advertise a public hearing to be held on May 14th, 2024, during the regularly scheduled board meeting for policy updates presented at the March 19th work session for rule development. The text of all proposed rules scheduled for the public hearing will be available at the time the notice is published. So move.
All right.
We get a That's the request.
There we go.
Very good. So we have a motion made by Ms. Fields and a second by Ms. Wyatt. Board members, any discussion on that? All right, I'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Mr. Bridgers?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And we had a late-breaking item today, a request authority to advertise a public hearing for changes to the Code of Student Conduct. Those changes will be brought to you at the April 9th meeting. They'd like to have their public hearing on May the 14th. In order to get the advertisement published in timely fashion, I need to request authority tonight, but we will not make it until the final language has been approved by the board or brought to the board at the April 9th work session. So if I could have a motion and approve that.
Very good, Mr. Bridges. Can I have a motion and a second on that?
So moved.
All right, Ms. Cunningham made the motion. Mr. Sharpless seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries, Mr. Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We will see to it.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Next item on our agenda is the auditor's report. And I would just basically draw attention to, since our last meeting, we had approximately 4 audit reports that came through via email. So if you have a moment or any concerns, be sure to address those with Ms. Matthews. Now, board members, we are now at your time to reflect and offer a report. And I'm going to start with Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I appreciate that. Okay, so I just want to announce, I think most of the other board members will probably be mentioning their time as well, but we are going to be holding educational town hall meetings across the county to discuss school start times because there's been some legislative changes, and correct me if I'm wrong. And so this is going to affect start times not this August, but a year from this August, correct? In 2025. But due to the fact of the information that's going to be presented, we want the community to understand the implications of that because it takes time to make those drastic changes happen within our school system for busing, transportation. I mean, there's a myriad of topics that will be covered. So I'm going to invite my district, District 2, to our educational town hall meeting, which will be held on Monday night, April the 22nd. Monday, April 22nd, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Tom Fellows Community Center in Davenport. I mean, you can Google the center for the address. But I'd love for the folks in Northeast to come out and be able to understand the implications of this because we need your support going forward or your input if we don't, either way. And that's why we're trying to get out there and talk to everyone in plenty of time. Again, this is not for August of 24, it's for August of 25. So if you can join us, April 22nd, 6 o'clock in Davenport at the Tom Fellows Community Center, it would be greatly appreciated. In addition to that, I just want to offer for those who believe a very blessed and happy Easter. I'm so excited that we always have Good Friday off. That's something I actually started being on the board years ago, and we've been able to maintain Friday off every year. I just think it's a time for our families to come together and to have that family time in preparation for Easter Sunday. So for those of you that participate and believe, please have a wonderful and blessed time with your family, your friends, and be it a time of renewal for spring. And please be safe. The kids are off school on Friday and through the weekend. Please be careful. Drive safely. And Dr. Allen, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cunningham. Mr. Nolte, you are recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I concur with everything that Mrs. Cunningham just mentioned about the new start and getting the information out to the public. It's going to be quite an interesting ordeal. I attended Bartow's Leadership Education Day. The Bartow Culinary Academy put on a great show with the food, and everything was just excellent, and it was attended well, and we got to talk about different things that are coming before the board. I also attended the ribbon cutting at the new facility, new buildings at Southwest Middle School. Just beautiful. It looks like a college campus now. It is tremendous. I attended many sporting events. So we've got some great athletes in Polk County, and it's great to see the support they get from their families and friends and relatives. And I wish everyone a happy Easter, and just be safe, and thanks for coming tonight and showing your interest in what's going on in Polk County, and God bless. Thank you, Dr. Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Nolte. And moving to District 4, Ms. Wyatt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. So I first want to congratulate Winter Haven High School boys and girls basketball on incredible seasons again. They both came up short in the semifinals, but I think the most exciting takeaway is that when you look at our girls basketball team, they had one senior, and I believe they said one junior. So it is a very, very young team, and I know that we will be back next year. But on that note, I want to give a huge shout out to Dan Talbot, because I don't know that people realize how many state championships take place in Polk County, Florida. But that is a huge feat to get him here. He has really championed with, in partnership with Visit Central Florida, locating those in Polk County. Not only is it a great opportunity to showcase our teams here, but you know, when you look out in the stands and see the entire baseball team, the entire football team, they're supporting their other student athletes, it is a really cool opportunity that not every school has, because the tournaments are a little bit further away. It is great for economic development in Polk County, but it is also a great opportunity for our students to get to compete on a larger stage. I also would like to just put in a shameless plug for State Farm and the Winter Haven Chamber Foundation partner on scholarships for seniors in high school. So we have 10 $1,000 scholarships that the State Farm is giving out. The deadline for that is April 1st. So if you have a senior in your life that lives or goes to school in Winter Haven, please have them apply. You can find those at winterhavenchamber.com. But we would love to have some more applicants for those. So I want to make sure that our students and families know that those are available. And I believe that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ours for Ms. Cunningham mentioned those meetings. Ours is on April 8th, and I believe that goes into effect in 26-27 is what the announcement shows. So I just wanted to clarify that as well.
Thank you, Ms. Wyatt. And District 5, Ms. Fields, you're recognized.
Thank you. I won't have much tonight, but I do want to recognize some outstanding women in the audience there, AKA, hey, all the way. So happy to have you all today. I don't know if there are any other sororities or fraternities here. Alphas? All right, Alphas. See? Yeah. Are you all taking good notes? Okay. Well, thank you guys for being concerned about our community and for being here tonight. I attended the Southwest Middle ribbon cutting ceremony along with Mr. Nolte and with Superintendent Hyde and others, and it was amazing to see how that campus has been transformed. And the students were amazing with their sharing their talents, and there were many past administrators present, and even we had some of our former district staff present. So there are a lot of people who actually walked those halls, and they were very pleased of the results of the project. And also, though I wasn't here today earlier, I was watching a little bit online, and I saw the report about our health insurance. And Superintendent Hyde, I love your comments. I really did, because you're absolutely 100% correct. We've been dealing with this for a long window of time, and so we've got to find a way to fix it, because we're bleeding, and we've been bleeding for a minute. So I'm excited about serving on the Health Strategy Committee, and it's been very tedious. We've had a lot of meetings, we've had to do a lot of work, but it's important work. And so I think that you guys kind of got an update today, and we'll be continuing to do the work so that we can hopefully have something to present to the superintendent and to the board that would be acceptable, because we've been told by the superintendent that there are certain things that he will not accept from the committee. So we know what our charge is, and we take our charge seriously. And the Education Town Hall meeting in Lakeland is on Monday, and it's at the Dream Center, and it's at 6 o'clock p.m. And I believe that might be it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. Moving to District 6, Mr. Sharpless, you're recognized.
Thank you. Yes, there's not an educational town hall meeting happening in District 6, and so I'm actually going to attend the one this Thursday night at 6 p.m. In Bartow at the Stewart Center, 1702 South Holland Parkway. So make sure you come out, people of Bartow, Fort Meade, and also Southeast Polk. Come on over to Bartow and learn about the new school start times, certainly. One thing I did over spring break while I was on vacation is I actually attended a school safety webinar. It was put on by the University of Florida's Department of Education. Particularly, the reason I knew about this was because in October, I've told the public this before, but I traveled down to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and I toured the 1200 building there in Parkland, where in 2018 the horrific shooting happened, and I met one of the fathers there, and they started, in conjunction with the University of Florida, they started a website. I just want you to be aware of it. It's called Safe Schools for Alex. It's dedicated to his son that passed away in the shooting, safeschoolsforalex.org. It's a great website where you can go and you actually look at safety data for our state, our county. You can go down even to the school level. There's a dashboard there. So if you're wanting to learn more about that, I think it's certainly something the public might be interested in just learning about. And also a new version is coming out for the state of Florida soon. So yeah, it was just really important. Nothing's more important than the safety of our students and our staff. Shout out, I went to Fort Meade Middle Senior High School. I see Principal Blankenship's here. I went last week, and I actually taught 8th graders there about agricultural careers. This was part of Polk Vision's initiative for middle school career exploration. It's really important that our middle schoolers are learning about careers and helping them to prepare to go to high school and get into career academies. So it was an enjoyable day at Fort Meade Middle Senior High School. Thank you for the hospitality. Mr. Nolte mentioned Leadership Bartow Education Day lunch panel. It was great. Also, board member Miller was there, as well as board chair Allen. I think we did a pretty good job there, and I got to meet some of the leaders in our Chamber of Commerce there in Bartow. One thing that I did this past weekend, because a school board member's job is not 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I wanted to get my family involved in some of the activities that we do as a school board. And so I took my kindergarten son, my oldest son, over to the Polk Museum of Art. And there was the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards that took place there. My son enjoys his kindergarten art class, so I took him there to see the student art, as well as celebrate the students, artists, and their accomplishments, which are truly amazing. It's something the students can add to their resume, certainly, to hang art, in a Smithsonian-affiliated gallery, certainly. 2 more things. I just want to do congratulations to 2 groups. First, Roosevelt Academy, one of my schools, East Street Barbecue Team. They won the grand champion at the Florida High School Barbecue Association State barbecue cook-off. And these are the things that each of the teams that competed had to make. Skirt steak tacos, sounds delicious, boneless pork chops, half chickens, and St. Louis ribs. I wish I could have been there to sample some of this, but I just want to give a huge shout out. Shamelessly, my father is the one of the coaches on that barbecue team, so good job, Dad. I'm proud of you and all the students as well. And finally, George Jenkins, FFA. I know we had some George Jenkins High School people here earlier. Their FFA chapter are state champions in the nursery and landscape team, where they go and they identify different plants. There's different practicums, but they won the state championship, and it's something that our career technical student organizations, they work hard too. Every student needs to find their niche. Some might be on the athletic field. Some might be in their art class, in their music class, but some might be in a career technical student organization. I'm a product of the FFA, and I'm very proud of that. And I just want to make sure that George Jenkins FFA knows that I'm proud of them for their state championship. And Board Chair Allen, that's all for my report.
Thank you, Vice Chair Sharpless. Appreciate your thoughts. And moving to District 7, Ms. Miller, you're recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Most of things were mentioned here. I want to first say I appreciate my board and superintendent who were very supportive in the passing of my mother. I received beautiful arrangement and cards from a lot of staff, and I'm very thankful. My family was very touched by the support given to us during that time over spring break. So I just want to publicly thank them for that. I was able to attend several things after spring break, and two of them were the most exciting, I think. Speaking to leadership groups and learning to meet people in the community that are interested in public service and for the good of all citizens has been something I've really enjoyed. The Bartow Day was nice. I learned a new term that we are in charge of our fiefdoms, and I joke with our PR guy who gave us that term, but we were able to share a little bit from each district with the people that attended that. I also spoke to the public service leadership class, which is something that Leadership Polk Vision has started for people who are interested in just belonging to the community, whether it's a committee service or one day running for office, to kind of learn how that works and our different experiences in that. So that was rewarding. The Scholastic Art and Writing award ceremony that Mr. Sharpless mentioned, I want you to know that it was standing room only on a Saturday morning, standing room only with teachers, with principals, with parents and students. The support for the arts in this community is strong. The support for our students. This was an arts competition that included all students in Polk because they're all our kids. It was charter, public, private, homeschool, and we were able to celebrate those kids and the artwork that they do, and I love to see the community show up in support of students, and we definitely had that. Most of us were standing along the wall. It was just packed in that facility, so thank you to the community that came out to support. For the principals that came out on a Saturday to cheer their kids on, I think you should be recognized for that. It's not required, but it definitely is appreciated. I think I'm going to wrap it up. There's a couple other things that were mentioned here. I'm glad to see Winter Haven has a new field, even though it's not my district. It is my school that I graduated in 1994. We were proud of that field, and I'm glad to see it upkept and that they'll have the opportunity to have that facility renewed. Thank you, Dr. Allen.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. And I'll just bring forward a couple thoughts as well before we move to our public comment section. As always, I do like to bring forward one of our educators. And as noted, I would say that we have the most educated workforce in the nation. I mean, I would like to acknowledge and commend this individual. This is Dr. Brianna McKenzie. She's achieved her PhD and serves as a dean at Davenport High School. And the dissertation title that she submitted to my email was entitled Barriers to Mental Health Services in Primary School Settings. Really enjoyed reading the abstract and looking at some of her findings. Actually, the findings of this research basically were twofold. Basically said that Title I schools reported higher levels of mental health services than other schools, and having a family member with mental health issues is not associated with less stigma. Which is pretty intriguing. And then mental health education for parents and guardians and school board staff may be necessary to dispel the stigma and increase utilization of the available services. So very preeminent research that Dr. McKenzie has conducted. And she serves in our schools. So I thank you for your service and your research to our educational endeavors. Wanted to draw attention to one or two events. A lot of these that were mentioned, I thoroughly enjoyed participating in, but definitely wanted to draw attention to this event that took place at In Focus Production Studios, which is a film production house in Lakeland, actually where I began my career as a filmmaker way long ago. And one of my students, recent graduates, is an associate producer there, and her name's Taylor Tyre, and she's a Polk County grad as well, and then finished with a film degree at Florida Southern College, and she's been producing on multi-million-dollar projects and basically invited our Southwest Elementary students to come over and hang out in the studio for a day. As you know, our pre-academy at Southwest Elementary is our very first digital media elementary-based academy, and they had a chance to meander through the studio while Publix was actually shooting, and they do a lot of food shooting there, basically. A lot of the food imagery that you would see, or Instagram, stop motion animation and so forth, is done at that studio. So really unique opportunity for our students to hang out in that studio with Taylor. And I just want to say thanks for allowing that to happen. It was pretty impactful to our students. The About Face program was incredible. And, if you haven't had a chance to attend that one, this event celebrates the incredible students that have overcome obstacles in their educational journey. And it was just amazing to hear their stories, to put them on stage next to Superintendent Hyde and Nick from TICO. It's quite fun to see, first of all, Superintendent engage with them, and they just loved it. And they were the spotlight. They were the ones at the helm, at the front of the stage, as we just really honored them. And one thing that just really, stuck out to me in that event was there was a student from 2 years ago that I had a chance to sit at the Summerlin sophomore dining event with, his cadet, Mr. Cole, and pulled me aside and just say, "Hey, I remember sitting with you and your wife during that event," and it moved me. So just to think, we have these little opportunities to interact with students and encourage them as well. So they encourage us as well. And then I want to also just say thanks to 10th Judicial Circuit Judge Brenda Ramirez, and she brought her keynote to that event. And if you've never heard her story, graduate from Bartow High, and where she came from and where she's at now, it's a moving story. And she shared this really nice acronym around STEADY, and just was a great message for our students and for us as well. And then I just want to say thanks to TICO Energy. They have been a generous sponsor to that event for, decades. It's been over 30. That is incredible. So thank you. Thanks, Nick, for your leadership that day as well. I don't know. I guess I wanted to share a little letter from my daughter that sent me an email just this week. And if you don't know, she actually had a chance to shadow me here during our work session. It was probably the most mundane work session. We had over 60 policies, but this was her email. She says, "Dear Dad, thanks for taking the time to let me shadow you. I was surprised about how important your job is, having to talk about school policies. I honestly didn't realize how much that you do. There are so many important and nice people you get to work with, and it was so nice to meet them all." So that's you all. So I appreciate that. It was very cool to have learned about audio and how to use systems to edit and record videos. I learned a lot at the Career Shadow, and I'm glad I got to shadow you. So I just want to say, I know Jessica's in the back there, and I just want to say thank you for just taking time to spend with my daughter while she was here. So board members, that's all of my comments as well. And at this point, we will now transition to our public comments. So that's our next item on the agenda. And these public comments are basically addressing items not on our agenda tonight. And as noted earlier, to register to speak, community members must fill out a speaker card in the lobby prior to the meeting. All speakers, you'll be given 3 minutes. The light will turn yellow when you have 1 minute left, and then you'll hear a beep when your time is concluded. Please note that although the board encourages community participation, no immediate action will be taken on the items presented during this public comment portion of the meeting. If follow-up board action is required, then the matter may be placed on the agenda at a subsequent meeting in accordance with the school board policy. I ask that all comments be addressed to me and not individual board members as noted in our policies. And I have a list of individuals who have signed up to speak. So if you can please come forward when I call your name. You do have the red line there. So we've got the person that will be on deck that will stand there at the red line so we can keep things moving. So first of all, we have Victor Chandler. You're our first guest to speak to us tonight. So Mr. Chandler, if you can come forward. And then we have Glenda White. You are on deck.
You have the data in front of you. I'm going to speak tonight on a 4-year period of time in which senior management and teachers were reported as receiving the same exact 9% raise. So exactly what did each group get? The 9% raise for senior management increased the beginning salary of every senior management position by 9.2% minimum. That for teachers, it increased the beginning teacher salary by 2.1%. The 9% pay raise for senior management increased the pay at every level and step for administrators by a minimum of 9.2%. That for teachers increased no step, 9%. In fact, some of them decreased. For example, a teacher with 16 years experience after the 9% pay raise received 12.1%, $4,000 less than the teacher with the same exact experience received before the 9% pay raise. Unfortunately, what happens in the past doesn't stay in the past. In 2022, the pay for all senior management positions adjusted for inflation was greater than or far greater than 1977. That for teachers was far less. The example of that would be a teacher with 16 years experience now, adjusted for inflation, makes over $16,000 less than a teacher in 1977 with the same exact years of experience. Worse than pay, the retirement of teachers has been decimated by the addition of steps. In 1977, it took 16 years to get to the top of the pay scale. A teacher this year who's got 30 years experience, who intends to retire, never made it to the top of the pay scale. And your retirement is based off your 5 highest years. Now, all of this is a result of using 2 different methods of calculating a pay raise, which are not equivalent in any way. If you wish to meet with me, give me a call. I'll meet with you right here in the county office. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chandler. Miss Glenda, you are next. And Mr. Brown, you're on deck.
Good evening, everyone. School Board Lisa Miller is again picking on...
Stand by. Please, could you address the comments to me?
I am, sir.
Thank you.
I'm reporting some actions that she's done. School Board member Lisa Miller is again picking on a citizen. On March 12th at 12:05 p.m., Ms. Miller posted an official voicemail.
Sorry. You need to address those comments to me. Let's not address an individual board member. Stand by. Thank you, Ms. Miller.
All right, then. Should I just say a school board member then? Would that be better?
Maybe the board would be more appropriate. It's, again,
All right.
not appropriate to target an individual board member.
A board member then has targeted a citizen, Mr. Bobby Dees, on her personal Facebook page. The incident happened on March 12th at 12:05 p.m. Mr. Dees was inquiring about the illegal, inappropriate, and pornographic books that are currently in Polk County schools, for which they are now being sued, and rightly so. I will be filing a formal complaint with the Florida Department of Education, as this is not the first time this school board has done some kind of action in this manner to a citizen. I really think that the school board member should know that Mr. Dees does not follow this person on Facebook. He does not email her because he does not own a computer. He served his nation honorably. As a retired corrections officer, Mr. Dees well understands the results of kids ill-prepared to face adult life, which is now a serious problem in Polk County schools. We ask that school board members please act like professionals. We're not trying to harass you in any way. We want answers to our questions when we ask them. We want to be responded to when we call you. We are not being responded to. We are met with silence. We're met with bullying because they don't agree with our view on things. It's not appropriate, and it's not in keeping with the professional manner of an elected official. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White. Mr. Brown, you're up, and then Rocky White, you're on deck.
Good evening. My name is Royal Brown III. I'm a resident of Winter Haven. I understand you're being sued by the Citizens Defending Freedom for your failure to take proper actions in regard to age inappropriate and pornographic books. And I got to say, you deserve the lawsuit, and I hope you lose it. If you had had the courage to vote in public on an opt-in policy in regard to these books, rather than 3 of you, plus another who was voted out of office, convincing Superintendent Hyde to adopt only an opt-out program, perhaps this lawsuit could have been avoided. You have kowtowed to a very small number of secular Polk County and non-county residents in favor of keeping all books, regardless of their age inappropriateness or being pornographic, rather than listening to the voices of the right and reason. You have hypocritically removed video readings of these same books from YouTube recordings on your website because they don't comply with FCC rules. If these readings are too vulgar for the FCC and YouTube, how can you say they're okay to keep in Polk County public school media centers? Also, the rules of conduct during school board meetings by the public should be equally applied, and they have not been in some cases. Some of us have been subjected to harassment at school board meetings, which you seem unaware of based on your lack of action. I'm talking about opponents of our position on these books sitting behind or near us, talking so loud we could not hear the board conversations, and even jeering as we either were simply sitting and listening or speaking on an agenda item or a public forum. I'm also referring to people with different opinions displaying vulgar one-finger curses directed at us and even at a school board member of this board during meetings. I'm talking about arriving early, standing near the front of the line outside the building to sign in and to speak and to secure a seat, and then having an LGBTQ advocate who was ahead of me holding a place for another dozen or so LGBTQ activists who then cut in line in front of me. I complained about this to the security and was told it was not their job. I also, when I told the last person that cut in front of the line in me, I told him, hey, the line forms to the rear. He immediately got in my face, accosted me, yelling at me, and he's lucky that I didn't do anything other than stare at him. But that kind of conduct is going on, and you school board members aren't aware of it. I'll close with this idiot.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
What goes around comes around.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Rocky White, you were up, and Bobby Dees is on deck.
Hello. I did not realize I only had 3 minutes to be able to do this. I'm going to try to condense down about 2 months of problems that we've been having with the transportation department in this 3-minute talk. Pretty sure y'all are aware where College Alarms in Winter Haven is, correct? Their bus stop used to be on the inside of the complex next to the mailboxes. A couple of weeks ago, everybody got an email or a phone call stating that it was going to be moved outside by State Road 540. There was a number attached stating, if you have an issue with this, please call. When multiple parents tried calling this number, nobody answered. We found out today by George Miller, who is the Director of Transport and Operations, that the reason why is because it was never staffed. Why was it never staffed? Couldn't give me an honest reason. State Road 540 has a minimum speed limit of 55 miles an hour. People go through there, they go fast, they go up to 80, 90 miles an hour. In a letter that he sent out, he even stated that, yes, they are aware that drivers are going past the bus while it has its stop signs out. We have asked multiple times, put it back inside the complex. It is an unsafe area. We have gotten fight back and referrals on it. Finally, it is getting back put into the complex, but now we're being told next year it's going back out to the highway. A bunch of 10-year-olds are going to be standing out by a highway waiting for a bus because it's more convenient than paying a couple of bucks because some buses made some damages. It doesn't make sense to us at all. It needs to stay inside of the complex. And a talk with Carlton Arms, it needs to have an agreement of where and how the buses can turn around safely. It does not need to be out there by State Road 550 or 540.
Mr. White, thank you for being here tonight. Mr. White, did you hear that? We have Mr. Rob Davis, who oversees our transportation. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Bobby Dees, you are up, and then on deck we have James Tackett. Bobby Dees, you're recognized.
Good evening, sir. Over the past few years, I've been attending school board meetings and making phone calls to school board members and contact persons listed in your agendas. However, most of the times when I call school board members, with the exception of the past 2 years, with the exception of 2 of you in the last couple of years, don't answer, and I have to leave a voicemail, or the mailbox is full, and they don't respond back to me about my questions or my comments. Recently, I called each school board member and asked, what are you doing, if anything, about the pornographic books in your schools, meaning your district? And if not, would it be safe to say that you are for porn in schools? I got 2 responses, one negative and one positive. One member responded by posting on their Facebook that I purposefully did that to harass them on their spring break, which, by the way, I thought was only for students. And during the day of their mother's funeral, and that I was following them on Facebook. Also, they included posting my name and my phone number. Let me tell you something. I don't do computers. I don't follow anyone on Facebook. My phone doesn't have the capacity to do that. It's a flip phone, not a smartphone. What's more is, I didn't know it was spring break, much less me knowing they were attending a funeral. Worst of all, they posted my name and my phone number, which by now is all over the internet. This action was inappropriate behavior by and unbecoming of an elected public official, and they should be held accountable. And since you informed one of the others that the name is not needed, that person is sitting over there, right there.
Thank you, Mr. Dees. Next up is James Tackett and Bernard Wells. You're on deck.
Yeah, hi, my name is Jim Taggett. I'm a Polk County resident, taxpayer, and voter. And I'm also here to discuss the inappropriate behavior of one of the school board members who we are not allowed to name. Okay, on March 12th, 2024, at about 12:05 p.m. noon, Bobby Dees, who just spoke, called the school board member to discuss school board business. That's the way a representative republic works. We, the people, bring our comments to elected officials, our criticisms, our opinions, our ideas. Okay, that could be a Congress member, the governor, or a school board member. Okay. Bobby left his phone number on the voicemail so this school board member could call him back and they could have an adult conversation. Instead of doing that, the school board member posted his name and phone number on the Facebook page, just as he spoke. The only reason for that is so people could call up Bobby and harass him, okay? This is totally inappropriate behavior for any elected official. That school board member should be ashamed of herself, okay? As school board members, you're all looked up to, okay? Pillars of the community, you're supposed to be leaders, you're supposed to guide our children on appropriate behavior, to set a good example. I went on that school board member's Facebook page and I saw her at various schools interacting with the children, okay? And I'm wondering what she's teaching them. Is she teaching them to harass people that might have a different opinion? I don't know, okay? That behavior is reminiscent of Chairman Mao's Red Guard during his Cultural Revolution in the 1960s, okay? He recruited students to harass dissidents, people that did not agree with him. And the penalty was pretty severe for those dissidents, okay? What about those wannabe revolutionaries, the Antifa types? Those guys, they're doxing our congressmen, our elected officials, Supreme Court justices, okay? This is their behavior. They're doxing people, going after people that they don't agree with, okay? And I just say to that school board member, if this is an example of how you conduct your business and your beliefs, I would suggest that you step down from the school board as a benefit to the students of Polk County.
Mr. Taggett, thank you. Bernard Wells, you're up, and Nancy Willett, you're on deck.
Greetings to each of you. My name is Bernard Wells from Winter Haven. At the last board meeting, I was chastised for addressing board members personally. I accept that. Since then, I have secured a copy of your board bylaws governing public speakers before you. However, in times past, it appears that this board does not always follow its own rules equitably. Nonetheless, I will read more about that in the Florida statutes and get back to you guys. And by the way, are there any governing rules, any rules governing members that sends texts and emails attempting to intimidate or threaten speakers? I won't have to call a name. It's already been spoken of. More to come on that. In August of 2023, I shared with this board communication from Florida Department of Education about a comprehensive coordinated early intervention services, CCEIS, where Polk County was identified as having a significant disproportionality with discipline of Black African Americans related to the identification of students with disability in specific categories, placing those students with disability in particular settings, and taking disciplinary action to include in-school, out-of-school suspension, and expulsion. School year 23-24, the district was required to put aside 15% of roughly $3.9 million to address the causes of this disproportionality. Presiding Chair, has this been addressed? What is the status? Where did the money come from? Seeing how students needing speech and language services have not received all their due in the past 2 years, where is that money? Staff has been told, ESE staff has been told not to mention compensatory services that a student may need to the parents. Where is that money? And, Presiding Chair, perhaps you can ask the superintendent to ask the ESE department and those in charge, maybe the ESE guru, one of your board members, why are there not any more ESE graduation checks to check on those ESE seniors? Why is pre-K still in a mess? And why is school administrators not adhering to the ESE signed waivers of those ESE students? Maybe that's a question you can put before the superintendent and those in charge of the ESE department. Per a public records request from the DOE, the number of state complaints and due process filing in Polk County ESE department has more than doubled in the last 2 years. It is something that is that something that is discussed in your work session? Why is the most vulnerable of our student population being targeted for denial of services? Thus,
Mr. Wells, thank you for being here. Nancy Willett, you're up. And then Bishop Mincy, you're on deck.
Willett, I live in Polk County and I'm a taxpayer. I wish to address the inappropriate behavior by a school board member. Many people saw the Facebook posting by the school board member about Bobby Dees. Posting his phone number on Facebook is wrong in every way. Doxing him is malicious and dangerous. A school board member is a public official and responsible for showing discretion, and using his full name and phone number puts him in an unsafe position. This citizen is now targeted, who called with a complaint, and it has raised the stakes from a complaint to an online attack on that citizen. In the comments on the Facebook posting, someone suggested calling the police, and another suggested calling Mr. Dees at inappropriate times. What other veiled and overt threats were not posted on Facebook, but perhaps shared in another way? Anyone can get his address and location from what the school board member put on Facebook. This was wrong and puts him in an unsafe position. As a professional, a school board member is required to hear from citizens who do not agree with the school board member's agenda. We question the leadership capabilities of this school board member, and this will not be forgotten when there is a time to vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Willett. Bishop Mincy, you are up.
Mr. Chair, I have not been before you in a while, but I'm here tonight to ask you a few questions. I've been in board meetings and I've been in work sessions, but I have not heard you or a board member ask the question about graduation rates. Number two, what are we going to do, or what are you all going to do about the administrators that work hard and tirelessly, principals and assistant principals, tirelessly giving their lives for our children? I've talked to the chief of staff. He promised me that something was going to be done. I haven't heard y'all discuss it yet. The time is now to look out for these men and women that are giving their lives for our children. Maybe y'all don't care. Y'all say you do, but you ain't proving it to me. And I'm going to say this. All of the hell that you're catching, you're going to catch some more until you wake up to the realities of doing what is right. The Bible declares righteousness exalts a nation, but sinners are reproached. And you are a man that said you love God. Sin is a reproach to any people. You can't compromise and you can't have buddies. You got to be fair to everybody. And these principles, our students need to be knowing that when they go to class, that these people are being cared for as all the rest. Every time I come to board meeting, the work session, y'all got a new senior somebody you're giving some more money to. But nobody is saying to these poor men and women that are working so hard, giving their life and their time, coming back to the school campus, staying late, all kind of things. What are we going to do? Think about it. Put yourself in the position and ask yourself the question, what would I like to have done to me as an individual doing the work that is being done. I'm praying for you. As I always say, y'all don't want me, but I'm gonna stay here until God take me out. When he takes me out, then the wrath gonna come. Get ready. I told y'all this some time ago. Get ready for the judgment night. You got the good, but the judgment gonna come. It's coming. You gonna see it. And not only you gonna see it, but Polk County gonna see it. Because God is not letting me come here for no reason at all. God bless you.
Thank you, Bishop Mincy. All right, board members. Next order of business is adjournment. There being no further business, this meeting of the Polk County School Board is now adjourned. Thank you.